Today, CSR has evolved into a much more strategic as an approach. Collaborative CSR basically brings businesses, governments, NGOs, all these together, and they address complex societal challenges. Okay, and that is where analytics come into play. What does analytics do? Using data to guide decisions, measure impact, and track progress. Companies ensure that their CSR efforts are effective and transparent. Okay, so basis this, let's look at some of the examples of the top Indian firms that what they are doing in CSR, collaborative CSR using analytics. Let's talk about big giants. Okay, TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. Now they use analytics to assess the effectiveness of their educational programs. They have this initiative called TCS Ion, okay, via which they track how well students are performing, what are their learning needs, whether they are learning well or not, and they assess them using this data, and they plan their CSR initiatives accordingly. Similarly, Reliance Industries. Now they use analytics to monitor their health and sanitation programs in the country, especially in the rural areas. They basically track the health metrics. They identify underserved areas. They use predictive models to optimize the health distribution services in the country. That is how they're using analytics. Lastly, let's talk about Mahindra. Now, Mahindra has an initiative called Mahindra Rights. What they do is they use this program to empower women in the country, especially in the rural areas. So they basically measure the progress of vocational training programs that they conduct across the country. And that is how they're using analytics into their CSR efforts. Okay? Talking about the firms that I have worked with and what are the initiatives they have taken. Okay, I'll start with McKinsey and Company, and I'm going to give you three examples per company. McKinsey and Company has three CSR. They do a lot of work, but I'm going to focus on three broad initiatives. First one is bias detection in recruitment and performance management. Performance management on something, right? So they identify using predictive analysis, using machine learning, they identify what are their recruitment needs, how are employees performing, right? What is the gender ratio at the firm? And basis this data, they ensure that there are no biases in the organization. And it is very important. McKinsey is a multinational firm. It needs to look good also in front of the world. If there are this unconscious bias, it is going to impact them as a firm because clients reach out to them for solutions. They need to have everything in order. Second, there is social impact of pro bono consulting. Do we all know what pro bono is? Yeah, pro bono is basically some free work, social work that you do for which you don't charge money to the clients. Okay, McKinsey charges premium money to its clients, but it also does pro bono work. So what they do is they work with non-profits, governments, NGOs, and they address the challenges such as poverty, education, and healthcare. So they advise them on what needs to be done. And this is their analytics tools that they have created in-house. They assess whether this pro bono engagement of theirs is giving fruitful results or not, whether it is even worth providing free consulting to the society. And it is worth it, but they need to measure also the consulting that they give to the clients. Lastly, volunteer impact measurement. Now, all employees at McKinsey and Company are supposed to do volunteer work. Via their analytics model, they basically track the hours that the employees are dedicating to good volunteer work. What volunteer work they are doing, how much are they committing, whether it is a success or a failure, what corrective actions do they need to take, is all measured via analytics within these firms. So McKinsey, they do bias detection, they do pro bono consulting assessment, and then volunteer the impact measurement. Moving on to EY. Ernst & Young, EY सबने सुना है, one of the big fours, they do management consulting. Alright, what is EY? They do carbon footprint tracking. Consultants, you may all know, are always on the move. You go to the airport, half the population there is from the big fours. They are always traveling at client locations, and how much carbon footprint are they leaving behind? If such multinationals who have 3 lakh, 4 lakh employees worldwide, they don't track their carbon emission, it is going to be a problem for them. So they have created these predictive analysis tools, these models to understand how they are traveling, how what the best route can be, what can go digital and what needs to be physical. If it is extremely important to visit the client location, let's say in Washington from India, then they do it. But they are very mindful of how the travel is happening. Hence, they track carbon footprint. Second is energy optimization models. Now, EY is a multinational. They have hundreds of offices across the world, and not just single floors. They own the entire buildings. Now, imagine the energy consumption, heating, cooling, waste management, water usage. They need to track how, the buildings are being operated, how the food comes in. And I'll give you an example of this, maybe in the next point, but they need to track whether they are wasting or they're optimizing the energy usage. And similarly, the example I was going to give was sustainable supply chain. Now, I remember my days at the cafeteria there used to be a board which used to mention the kgs of food that was wasted the previous day. Okay, the amount, they always used to say, take as much as you want to eat, but eat all of that you've taken, right? And still people used to waste food. So they used to measure all the wastage and put up there over on the board for everyone to see. Yesterday, 25 kgs of food was wasted. So they are taking all of these initiatives as part of CSR to ensure that they don't do wasteful activities. And hence they all work with their vendors to bring in those efficiencies in their supply chains. Moving on to Grant Thornton. Now, three examples from Grant Thornton. Grant Thornton suna hai. They are also management consultants, but they do a lot of audit work as well. So they are primarily auditors and then they do management consulting. Three areas where they do excellent CSR. The first one is DNI, diversity and inclusion. We all understand what DNI is. Suna hai, kafi. It's a buzzword these days. Grant Thornton uses data analytics to track the diversity within the organization. What is the male to female ratio? How many people are in the leadership positions? How is the performance management done? How are the promotions done? They track all of this again to consider that unconscious bias. They should not be engaging into unconscious bias. So they are very calculative about DNI. Second is bias detection in hiring. Now they are very conscious about how they hire, who they hire, what designation, what CTC. They need to provide equal pay across gender, a certain level of pay across designations, and basis the models that they have created, they analyze this data, basis which they take their hiring and promotion decisions at the firm. Lastly, impact measurement of the volunteer initiatives. Now, every major firm is doing CSR efforts. Grant Thornton also does that. So they assess the impact of volunteer programs on the community. For example, they analyze the volunteer efforts of the local non-profits that work with. If they are able to increase capacity, if they are able to improve services, bring positive outcomes from their initiative is what they measure as a firm. And lastly, Khaitan and Company. Again, three examples. Now, Khaitan and Company is a major law firm. So what they do is, just a McKinsey pro bono karta tha, Khaitan and Company also does legal education and advocating. Okay, they use data analytics to assess their advocacy. They will work with governments, non-profits, NGOs to advise them on various legal issues that are there in the society. Okay, and then they assess whether those advocacy assignments have been fruitful or not. Where they need to focus, how many people do they require to work on this CSR initiative? They need to focus and then they assess it via the analytics. Energy consumption and carbon footprint. Every organization is doing that. I talked about at McKinsey, at EY, at Grant Thornton. Khaitan and Company. The office is in Noida. It is a green energy building. They monitor how much electricity is being used on a day-to-day basis. Air conditioning temperature is never below 24 or above 24. They maintain that. They ensure that the lights are switched off if someone is leaving the meeting room or the cabin or the washroom. They have, added those sensors in the rooms. If you're not in the room, the lights will go off. They recently replaced plastic bottles with glass bottles that are more hygienic and are reusable, right? So they are taking a lot of these initiatives into play, and how they do it is this is the data, this is the analytics that they run behind it. Lastly, waste management and resource efficiency. लॉ फर्म है, बहुत सारा पेपर वर्क होगा, राइट? The firm is moving to a fully digital firm, but still फाइलें बनेंगी, पेपर वर्क रेडी होगा, कोर्ट में सबमिट होगा. There is so much paperwork. There's a lot of waste that we create. But what we do is we recycle that responsibly. We've got some empaneled recycle companies on the company's vendors list, and we send them all this raw material, which is highly confidential in nature. So there it is taken care that those papers are not leaked out. Okay, so we've signed those NDAs, non-disclosure agreements with these vendors. They will correctly dispose all of that material, and the amount of paper that we give to them for recycling, in return we get those carbon credit points, and we purchase more paper and stationery and other materials from them, right? So we dispose waste paper and we get recycled paper and stationery from them as well. So these are the three examples from Khaitan and Company. Legal education and advocating, energy consumption, carbon footprint, and waste management and resource efficiency. So to conclude, as we have seen today, analytics is playing an essential role in making CSR efforts more collaborative, strategic, and impactful. Whether it's Indian firm like a TCS, Mahindra, or your Reliance, or the multinational firms like McKinsey, EY, Canon, Grant Thornton, data is helping these organizations design better programs, foster stronger partnerships, and engage stakeholders effectively. So the call to all of you, the call for action for you students is, as future leaders of these organizations, you all have a very unique opportunity to contribute to the world of CSR. Whatever you do, whether you are running a business, you are part of these consulting firms, you are working with NGOs, think about how you can use data and collaboration to create sustainable, impactful CSR programs. With that, I would like to end my speech. I encourage all of you continue thinking about how we can all work together using analytics, collaboration, and innovation to make this world a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are truly grateful for your profound words, which have provided us with legal clarity and knowledge. It is now my privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker, Dr. Ganesh Kumar Sana, Professor and Associate Dean, Admission and Outreach, Bennett University, Greater Noida, for the valedictory address. Dr. Ganesh Kumar Sana is a distinguished academician and industry expert with a PhD in Industrial Engineering and Management and MTech Gold Medalist from IIT ISM Dhanbad and BE from VNIT Nagpur. With over 24 years of experience in teaching and industry, he specializes in operations and supply chain management. He has published 50 plus research articles in renowned journals covering operations, supply chain, productivity, water resources, and HR practices. Dr. Sana has led MDPs and EDPs for industry leaders such as CPWD, Yamaha, Asian Paints, and IRCTC, and has undertaken consultancy projects in inventory management, capacity planning, and layout optimization. His work in the healthcare supply chain has been funded by the United Nations. A sought-after speaker and session chair at international conferences, he also conducts activities at esteemed institutions like Delhi University. Currently, he serves as a professor, Operation Analytics at Bennett University, Greater Noida with research interest in green supply chain practices and life cycle cost modeling for the defense sector. He is a lifetime member of the Indian Institution of Industrial Engineering and AIMA. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Jeetu Singh Manda for the delivery of the valedictory address. So please.
Respected Director Major General Dr. Rajendra Mana, fellow speaker, Mr. G2, faculty members from our Institute of Engineering and Technology, delegates, participants, and staffs and students. It's really my honor to be the part of 8th International Conference to be hosted by AMT, and the most importantly, the day on which this international conference is being organized by AMT is the World Water Day. And it can be imagined that how the AMT as the institute is honoring the philosophy of conserving the natural resources. So I'll be taking you through a small journey as far as analytics of supply chain management is concerned. As far as the main theme is concerned, the conference is driving sustainability with analytics, shaping business policy and society for future. So I have picked up a small part of that theme, that is analytics for sustainable supply chain. And what is the motivation that professional or enterprise or industry should engage in? Sustainable supply chain. It's just to meet the United Nations mandated United Nations SDGs. That is the agenda to fulfill 2030. Or to address the climate change, or to have a net zero emissions, or to have socially or environmentally responsible practices, or to be a successful business enterprise in long run, or to gain a competitive advantage. You will find that there is a common purpose, there is a common thread among all. We should not get confused with the net zero mission is totally different from addressing the climate change or fulfilling the agenda that is SDGs, or to become or to gain profitability and revenues in the market. It means that somewhere the entire business curriculum and practitioners are engaging themselves to fulfill or to meet some of the, maybe combination of all, or it may be some of them, or at least one of the data. So we must understand the term sustainable supply chain has come. First is supply chain, everybody knows. Then sustainable supply chain, because this is not a new term, it has evolved over a period of time from the green practices to the sustainability. Why sustainability? It means you are adding environmental practices to the social and ethical dimensions. Now, when we use the term analytics,
So it is not again, can we say there is a old wine in the new waters? Certainly not. Because the perspectives have changed from just having, if you go back to 30, 40 years back, some of the case study you will read or go through some textbook, it was more related to the analysis of historical data patterns and try to address the concern, business concern. In 1990s, the era of, you can say, electronic data interchange came, ERP's concept came. So where the informations were exchanged across the supply chain partners and meaningful decisions were taken. But in 2000s, in the era, the concept of business intelligence came. And where the intelligence concept came into the decision making using data. Can we say that business is the same thing which we are applied? No. Because as the year you are passing, the amount of data which is being built is humongous. We can say huge amount of data. It means that the data size is almost in zeta, or you can say even more. So addressing the business concern with the help of so many data, because at 2 days in recently 2 years back, I was going to report that for automotive firms, every year 50 times data is being added in the supply chain networks. Now out of those 50 times data which is being added, only 20% of data is structured and 80% data is unstructured. Now, to deal with unstructured, structured data dealing is not a rocket science, but dealing with the unstructured data where the concept of AI came. And what AI is basically, we are using cognitive technologies, where you are not just processing the information, making correlation among the data, and doing some automation, but also you are training the system, developing a system that can think, they can reason, they can take decisions, okay, they can interpret and they can make predictions, more in realistic terms. So analytics for sustainable supply chain getting much more importance today's world because of the size of data which is being built and making it meaningful result. So you can see that there are various aspects which are being used to address the sustainability. Now, where is sustainability concept from? Next. So I think this is not as much visible. Next. So supply chain partners, supply chain companies who are working, maybe a single individual enterprise or a group of enterprise, the focus is where they want to become agile or resilient. So it is not just every company is engaged in having the same one objective, same objective. The objectives might be different. One is towards achieving efficiency, another is moving towards more of responsiveness. So where the concept of supply chain is being used to become either agile or responsive. So when we say agile or resilient supply chain means how well you can withstand any kind of shock. And recent pandemic, it has proven that the companies which are resilient in terms of supply chain were not give less shock and they were able to rebound back to its original position or normal condition or normal working condition very quickly. So what does it mean? What is resilience means? You are able to resist the change. You are able to resist the kind of shock that may be posed on. So it means the organization as a group of enterprise might be focused on having resiliency in that. Like your human body, you are full with vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, proteins, and everything, so that the other night I'm having water PV loop to be prepared. That is what you are making your body resilient. So the focus of the company may be to become more resilient. But another dimension is to become agile. Agile means when you are feeling that I should quickly adapt to the new situation. Like, let's say you are from North India. You want to take admission, you want to do a job in South India. Resilient means you keep on taking the food, roti, chapati, dal and all. But when you are ready to change the food habit, taking habit, it means you are becoming yourself as a agile. This means both ways companies can survive. So the entire design of the supply chain has to be, I'm not saying either agile or responsive, but many times the companies who are much more resilient with little bit agility has much better advantage as compared to only resilient. Next. So there are metrics. You will find that ultimately, if you are focusing on agile, on resilient supply chain, you'll find that the objective is towards meeting sustainability as well. So agility, or when we say resilient, it means that you are focusing on inventory management. You are focusing on efficiency. You are focusing on resource conservation. Okay. And when you are looking at agility, you are looking at the flexibility to adapt. It means you must be able to predict in anticipation so that you should not produce surplus. You should not have understock situations. So predictive kind of analytics is very much helpful to make you agile. Somebody will say, why not resilient? Because predictive analytics can be helpful also to assess the risks which might be there across the supply chain. So what kind of risk? Risk could be internal, it could be within the system, within the organization, or it could be external. External means external to your business entity, okay, but internal to the entire supply chain network. And another form of external risk that is outside the supply chain network. So when you look at the goal of either agility or resilience, you find that if you are able to fulfill it, you are able to achieve sustainability finally. Next. So what is the driver to become agility? Agility driver is that when there is disruption within the business environment, it means that is threats and opportunities that may be beyond your control. And the drive for resilience is when disruption or in the supply chain itself. It means when you're looking at the resource conservation where and environmental considerations or flexibility or responsiveness, you must think of what kind of focus you have. Either way you can achieve the sustainability. Next. So we have already discussed what are the tools, techniques that can be used in giving you the sustainability, to meet the sustainability. Next. So in nutshell, you will find that these are the gist of the analytics which are being applied across supply chain in order to achieve sustainability. You the carbon footprint analysis. This fellow speakers have clearly elaborated on how the carbon footprint is being done and analysis is being done. Energy consumption also we highlighted very much more important because energy is the everywhere that we are looking at and when we are looking at sustainability. Water reduction strategy. Now the water again, I am again re-emphasizing on the today's water World Water Day. Every drop of water can save the world of future. So it is important that any kind of unnecessary wastage of water has to be monitored. So that, and third, supply aspect where any kind of unethical practices are there, how you can evaluate data so that achieve the cost efficiency in the across the chain, and the logistics optimization where we are looking at the transport selections, warehouse selection, location, and all. Next. 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 So one of the analytical tools which are being used by various systems that we call the scenario analysis, and is very, very powerful. At least from the fresh level, as an MBA student, or when you are taking up a job, that how you apply a critical thinking approach to apply analytical mindset and come up with a solution. This is just one illustration that you want to compare one initiative with other initiative with the third initiative. First initiative that you want to set up a local warehouses and you want to use electric vehicles for the last mile. So what will impact on transportation cost, impact on warehousing cost with more locations, how much CO2 emissions. Similarly, you don't want to use air freight. So how it is impacting on store reducing lead time. So what is the purpose of showing this slide is that you cannot be good in analytics until you are able to measure it. What you are measuring it is very, very important. And you know that if you don't know what you are measuring it, you don't know where you are making yourself or your business is going. So if you want to make improvement in the process or an organization, you must be able to identify that what are the metrics which are used to set a target and then you are monitoring consistently. Next. So a system dynamics modeling are being used to do a scenario analysis to see the relation among all variables. It is not that if you start using electric vehicles, you will be able to reduce the carbon emission. No, you have to see that the investment in EV vehicle is going to link with what kind of resource consumption and all. So when you are able to frame the entire your variables and the goal, you will be able to take decision more wisely, or you can say you are more effective. Next slide. So I will conclude this session or my speech by one quote that was given by me only. In fact, it was adapted by you. Everybody know that you just heard of motion. That for every action there is equal opposite reaction. I have just added it here. For every action there is equal and opposite carbon reactions. So this I have submitted in the so whatever you do, you get reciprocation. And the last thing is I don't consider carbon as something enemy of the world. So the carbon that is a base for your life. Maintaining the balance of carbon and everything is very important. Thank you, sir, and thank you, audience for questions.
Thank you, sir. We are truly grateful for your profound words, which have provided us deeper clarity and knowledge. It's time to recognize and celebrate excellence in research with the Best Paper Presentation Award announcement. This honor is a testament to the dedication, innovation, and scholarly contributions that have enriched this conference. We extend our heartfelt congratulations to the winners for their remarkable work advancing sustainability through analytics. Let's now proceed with the awards presentation. I request Director Sir and the dignitaries to please reward the winners. Starting with track 1, in which we had presentations from pan-India and international scholars. As the papers were presented virtually, we are honored to confer the awards in absentia for 2 best paper presentations, namely Mr. Himanshu Malhotra, Doon University, and Dr. Rajiv Kumar, Doon University, Dehradun. The paper titled as Motivations from Sustainable Innovation, Exploring Youth Perspectives on Green Entrepreneurship, and to Mr. Sumit Mishra and Dr. Gyanesh Kumar Sinha, Bennett University, Greater Noida. Their paper titled as Exploring Artificial Intelligence in Sustainability, a Bibliometric Analysis. And from track 2, the best 2 paper presentation awards are being presented to Ms. Sonali Rai and Dr. Shilpa Kanal. The paper being titled as A Study on the Role of AI in Waste Management with respect to mid and small cap companies in textile industry. Yes, sir. And the dignitaries mentioned in the first. Yes, sir. You already And Professor Dr. Shamli Satyapati, Ms. Anjali Jha, and Ms. Khushi Agri. And their paper being titled as Examining the Role of Sustainability in Shaping Employer Branding Within Job Advertisements. And from track 3, the best paper presentations are being awarded to Ms. Anshul Sharma and her paper being titled as The Rise of Digital Streaming Platforms and the Impact of Contemporary Media Consumption, a case study of Netflix. And to Mrs. Zishan Ali and Dr. Pallavi. The paper being titled as Willingness of Potential Customers to Buy Electric Vehicles or Hybrid Cars in India and the Prospects. I would like to call Mr. Sumit Mishra and Dr. Ganesh Kumar Sinha on the stage for the awards. Please make a great round of applause. Their paper was titled as Exploring Artificial Intelligence in Sustainability, a Bibliometric Analysis. Thank you so much, sir.
On behalf of Army Institute of Management and Technology, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest for gracing this occasion with your presence. Your insights and contributions have truly enriched this event, and we are deeply honored to have you here with us today. I now request Major General Dr. Rajendra Bala, Director AIMD, to kindly present the token of gratitude to our eminent dignitaries. Mr. Jeetu Singh Manla, Dr. Ganesh Kumar Sinha,
As we reach the conclusion of this thought provoking conference, it is time to reflect on the key insights and extend our heartfelt gratitude to all those who made this event a success. To deliver the vote of thanks, I have the honor of inviting Professor Dr. Shamli Satyapati, Dean Academics AIMT, to deliver the address. Please, ma'am.
If analytics is the new oil, then sustainability powered by analytics is the energy of the future. And this has been the core theme of our conference today. Good afternoon, everyone. Please join me in extending my sincere gratitude to our esteemed guest, Mr. Jeetu Singh Mandla, Chief Knowledge Officer, Ketan and Company, Dr. Ganesh Kumar Sinha, Professor and Associate Dean, Bangalore University, as they grace our stage with their presence. Thank you, sir. AIMG Greater Noida completes its 8th International Conference on Driving Sustainability with Analytics, shaping business, policy, and society for the future. The conference covered discussion on very interesting horizons, including data-driven insights and actionable sustainable practices. So allow me to take a few moments to briefly summarize the key highlights of this conference. The conference was inaugurated by esteemed chief guest, Professor Dr. Parmanand, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of Sharda University, Greater Noida, with other distinguished guests, the Chairman AIMT, Major General Sumit Mehta, VSM COS Delhi area, and Major General Dr. Rajendra Bana, Director of AIMT. Dr. Bana, in his welcome address, emphasized how technology can be leveraged for a sustainable future by minimizing its harmful effects, increasing the productivity and efficiency of the nations. In the inaugural address by Major General Sumit Mehta, the chairman of AIMT, he shared that sustainable development can be achieved through circular economic strategies. Our keynote speaker, Mr. Louis Lowe, Country Business Head, FLPSG, led an interesting discussions on how analytics is used to promote sustainable productions and consumptions. Mr. Lewis also highlighted sustainable initiative for FLP with various industries case studies. Mr. Vadim Kotelnikov, founder Global Coordinator, Enompics, in his keynote address, he has identified the bigger picture of harmonious and circular economy. He also highlighted the role of AI and sustainable mega innovations for the growth of the nation. Guest of honor, Mr. Saurabh Mohan Saxena, founder director of Ados Technology. He has shared his key insights on the aim of SDGs and the role of sustainability in analytics in maintaining the balance with various examples. Professor Dr. Anupam Narola, Deputy Director, Alumni Relations, Amity University, in his address, he has emphasized the use of analytics in sustainable decisions and how it is helpful in the marketing area. He basically gave some examples in the marketing area related to sustainable development and analytics. The chief guest, Professor Dr. Parmanand, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of Sharda University, addressed the importance of sustainability goals, SDGs, and quality education through lifelong learning, addressing the challenges like low R&D, research and development, innovation gaps, and employability. In the valedictory session, Mr. Jeetu Singh Mandla, Chief Knowledge Officer, Khaitan and Company, he reflected on the collaborative CSR with various examples related to MNCs. Dr. Ganesh Kumar Sena, Professor and Associate Dean, Admission and Outreach from Barrett University, Sir has shared his valuable insights on analytics of sustainable supply chain with a highlight on big data, AI, and blockchain. We had 3 dedicated research track paper presentation, each centered around with different themes. The sessions witnessed active participations from researchers, faculty members, and our students who presented insightful papers addressing contemporary issues related to emerging trends in the area of AI, sustainable business practices, and analytics. With these key reflections and takeaways, we come to the final part of these sessions, this conference. So this is the vote of thanks. With those reflections, on behalf of AIMT family, I take this opportunity to extend my sincere thanks to all our esteemed guests, Mr. Jeetu Singh Mandla, Dr. Ganesh Kumar Sinha, and all the eminent speakers for gracing the event with their presence and valuable inputs. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, sir, for joining us, for being part of our conference and sharing the right context and direction for this conference. I'm thankful to the external track moderators, Dr. Rajneesh Khare and Dr. Anand Rai from GL Bajaj Institute, for sparing their valuable time to be part of this conference and to moderate the technical sessions. I convey my sincere gratitude to Major General Dr. Rajendra Vana, Director AIMT, and Colonel Dr. D.K. Tyagi, Register AIMT, for their kind support and guidance in making this event a success one. I express my sincere appreciation to the organizing committee, Dr. Pavan Kumar, Dr. Mrityunjay, Dr. Priyanka Tariwal, Professor Vyomkesh, who has dedicatedly worked for this conference day and night. Their tireless efforts behind this conference have truly made this event a very good, big success, and I warmly congratulate to the team. Thank you so much. I would like to acknowledge all my colleagues, faculty members, staff members for coordinating this event, for the special executions and smooth coordination of this event. A special acknowledgement to all the students coordinators for their extraordinary efforts to make this event a success one. I would like to highlight the remarkable contribution of the students in terms of their intellectual inputs in research paper presentations, and I congratulate all of you. And this is the most special part of this conference. Thank you all of you. Thank you all the authors, participants, and you have been the guiding motivation of this event. Without you, this was not possible for us. Thank you for your presence, your attention for this event. Thank you all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Before we conclude the session, I request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
All the students are requested to please be seated until the guest departs.